In Zimbabwe, court order okays abortion for rape victims and minors. Zimbabwe High Court has overturned a law barring abortion services for underage girls and survivors of marital rape, making a significant step into reproductive rights. Judge Maxwell Tuvuka ruled that forcing minors or rape survivors to carry pregnancies constitutes torture, cruel and degrading treatment, arguing for access to safe, legal abortions to protect their rights. The decision, requiring constitutional court approval, challenges Zimbabwe's restrictive abortion laws, which only allow termination in cases of life endangerment, severe fetal disabilities, or incest. Zimbabwe records at least 77,000 unsafe abortions annually, with teenage pregnancies and early marriages rampant due to poverty, cultural practices, and limited access to contraception. Nearly 1 in 4 girls aged 10 to 19 falls pregnant, often forced into unsafe back streets abortions or marriages with men responsible for their pregnancies. In contrast, Nigeria's abortion laws remain among the most restrictive globally. Abortions are illegal unless performed to save the life of the woman, a policy that has led to high rates of unsafe procedures. According to a 2019 study by the Gochmacha Institute, an estimated 1.25 million abortions occur in Nigeria annually, with the majority carried out in unsafe conditions. The restrictive laws have not only endangered the lives of women, but also failed to address the underlying factors driving unintended pregnancies, such as lack of access to contraceptives and comprehensive sex education. If a law similar to Zimbabwe's recent ruling were introduced in Nigeria, it could spark significant debates given the deeply rooted cultural and religious disposition to abortion. However, it could also reduce the staggering rate of maternal mortality, linked to unsafe abortions, and provide vulnerable groups such as underage girls and rape survivors with critical health protections. Such a change will require a shift in public perception and a robust legal framework to address broader issues of reproductive health and gender-based violence. Zimbabwe's ruling, while not yet final, offers a blueprint for balancing cultural sensitivities with the urgent need to protect girls and women from life-threatening conditions caused by unsafe abortions. Abortion in Nigeria is fully illegal. What are your thoughts on that as regards this story?
All right, when I read the story, I just felt that the move by the country, it's a great move. Yeah, in the sense that, I mean, this is a pregnancy that erupted from rape, either rape or teenage, you know. How is it that an 11-year-old girl, you know, be pregnant, and then this is just a kid taking care of a kid?
Right.
Man, it doesn't speak well. So, if you know, for the safety of the mother, certain abortions are permitted, then this also Nigeria can, you know, take a cue from what Zimbabwe government have done to be able to protect the female gender. So
now,
I think it's a great move.
Now, given how religious we are, how do you think people would perceive and accept this sort of decision if it were made?
Now, this is not just a case of, okay, a girl is just trying to like explore, and she got pregnant and want to. This is a different case.
Now, what are the tenets that a 38-year-old woman walks into a clinic and say, I was raped, but I need to have a procedure done? What are your thoughts as regards the hospital or the doctor saying, okay, yeah, you were raped? Why do you think this kind of law would not be abused?
Okay, then issues of rape then should be immediately reported. But in this country, we have realized that a lot of rape cases go unreported.
Why do you think that is?
People just feel ashamed. Oh, how would they look at me? You know, the stigma. Oh, this one was raped. Oh, this, you know. So because of that, a lot of people tend to just back off. But for your own protection, it is important you report rape cases so that at least the male folk, by the time certain levels of punishment have been meted on the rapists, so to say, it will help in curbing the number of rape cases that we hear of. So the country can look at it.
You know that currently the cases of rape is high. We've had, I think all of last week, there were several reports as regards to minors being raped. And you would agree that right now puberty for law is passed, people will not be ashamed. And I also want to find out your thoughts about how, as a people, we can reduce the stigmatization, how we can fix our stigmatization problems on rape victims. Because when you shame people, they fail to talk.
Beautiful. So we should encourage people to speak up. We should encourage people to speak up, and we shouldn't stigmatize them. Because it's, to me, I don't really see it as a fault of theirs. I had a discussion with some friends. They said, oh, it's because of the way they are dressing. That is why they got raped. And a friend brought out a valid point, say, in years back, when civilization hasn't gotten to
when
where
the
we are today,
when ladies had a wrapper tied on their chest,
people were just wearing maybe leaves around their waist. Here in Africa, it happened. Does that mean that the men can't control themselves? They were controlling themselves. That doesn't mean that I'm in support of immoral dressing or whatever. No, that is not what the point I'm trying to bring out. Is that men can still have self-control. Because in yesteryears, women were almost going naked, even some with the breast opened. But yet they weren't raped. Because the people were well cultured.
right.
The value system was pretty high. Back then, you do a thing like that, they will move you around the market and you'll be dancing on the market. So people wouldn't want to pass through that. As a result, they held themselves.
Right.
So we can do a similar thing today.
Now, we are done talking about the minors. What are your thoughts on marital rape? Marital rape is a thing where, you know, a wife is had coitus with against her will. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think this law would cover people like that? You know, a woman comes, I'm married, but I was raped by my husband. Do you think this law is going to be an umbrella for people of, you know, of that state to also run under?
To me, I think it's going to be a little bit difficult because this is in the marriage setting, okay? All I can say is to encourage the men. When your wife says she's not ready, please just listen to her.
Do you think marital rape is a thing that actually happens?
It happens. There is no doubt about it because, for example, it is not every time that a woman might be in the mood. Okay? She's been busy cooking, going about. In fact, today, you know, we have a lot of career women. When you're done with your office work, you still come back home, you carry out your house chores. At the end of the day, you might be tired.
Right.
And the mood might not really be there. In such instances, I would say the men should understand or bear with the woman. Secondly, there is nothing wrong in having known that this woman had been busy all through the day at work or in a place of business, and she's back home. There is nothing more romantic than the husband joining her in the kitchen to help out.
To help
know?
out.
By the time she says, my husband is doing this, that can strengthen her.
And set the right
atmosphere. That thing that you are looking for, you might not even ask for it. She will give it to you.
Right.
So there are ways that these things can be handled in the marital setting.
Right.